Hello, I'm Ray Welsh, a Senior Product Marketing Manager at SS&C Blue Prism.
And hi everyone, I'm Drew Sonden. I'm a Senior Solutions Consultant, and I'm really excited to be talking to you today about how we can help you scale up your Blue Prism implementations.
Great. So Drew, could you start us off perhaps with the reasons why scaling up automation is important, and then follow on with what pitfalls would arise if you don't give enough thought to scaling up early on in your automation?
Yeah, sure, Ray. I guess what we're looking to achieve here is to maximize the potential benefit that anyone can get from intelligent automation. And clearly, the broader that you can deliver across your organization, the more value that you can achieve. I guess there are numerous scenarios in which we could potentially see that value reduced. But I suppose a good way of looking at it may be to suggest that if we focus purely on smaller scale tactical projects rather than those larger scale opportunities that we want to eventually hit, we're going to give the business a perception that that's what automation is. We're going to see people within the business pigeonhole automation as that thing that solves my little tasks and challenges, when we all know that it can actually deliver much more. So ultimately, we're looking to remove that bad perception and give the business the scalar potential that Blue Prism truly has.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So following on, what are your thoughts about how an organization should really think about automation and how it scales up over time?
So from my perspective, we should be starting from the premise that we're viewing automation as a transformative technology. We're looking at something that can support humans across the business to work better, smarter, more efficiently, to radically improve the way that we all work. And if we're looking at automation as that transformative and progressive platform, then we need to plan at a transformative level. So we need to understand at a larger scale how we want to apply automation within the business, where we want to apply it, the outcomes we're looking to achieve. But at the same time, whilst we want to build those large scale plans, there's no way that we can eat the elephant all at once, to use a terribly hackneyed cliche. So we build that big picture, and then we focus on smaller areas where we know we can deliver value straight away.
So when you're referring to thinking big, the goal of scaling up automation, we're not just talking about robotic process automation, is that right?
No, absolutely not. And we're also not talking simply about more licenses. I can hear people sighing at their screens, another vendor presentation, how much more can we buy? Ultimately, when we talk about scale, we're talking more about scope. We're talking more about the breadth and depth of what we're looking to achieve rather than how much of it. If we're talking about, I don't know, the sales process, an easy place to start with automation might be something like invoice reconciliation or the processing of sales orders, moving them into your ERP system. Ultimately, though, we need to consider that entire sales process. How much of it can we automate? Which bits are valuable to automate? If we look to automate larger chunks, can we deliver more value? And then once we have that understanding, then we can start focusing on the small individual elements that will give us immediate return without the potential for duplicating effort further down the line, without the potential for causing bottlenecks or problems upstream or downstream within that process. And also ensuring that whatever we do deliver is done in the most efficient way possible.
Yeah, so in your experience, which is with a lot of customers, obviously, what approaches to scaling up have you seen that have been most successful that organizations could adopt?
I think the really crucial thing from my perspective is to ensure that whoever it is within the organization that owns automation has a good relationship with the business. Automation teams are facilitators. We're there to deliver the technology to the business such that it can deliver the business value. But if we don't have a relationship with the business, if we don't understand what they need, what they're trying to achieve, how can we deliver that value? So once we've built that relationship, once we have a greater understanding of the business and its requirements, we can then start branching out into the business. We can give them the ability to leverage the power of automation themselves under the auspices, let's say, of a centre of excellence or automation factory. And so that relationship becomes much more symbiotic. We have almost a cross-functional team consisting of the core automation capability and the users in the business that have been empowered to deliver themselves. And then when we start to automate, which will probably happen before we've built that larger ecosystem, we need to ensure whatever we're building, we build based on trying to achieve an outcome. It's very easy to get requirements or ideas for automation for the business, and for them to say, I want to automate this process, and for us to look at the steps that are involved and try and replicate those with the digital workforce. When actually what we should be saying is, what does that process deliver? What are you trying to achieve? What are the outcomes of that process? And even if the automation that we create operates in a slightly different way to how humans currently deliver that outcome, provided we reach the same end goals, we meet the same regulatory compliance requirements, provided we have the same audit trail or better, then ultimately we've still delivered what the business needs. So trying to break the link, I suppose, between existing process and future automation is the other key thing for me.
Yeah, that's good. So once we've established that trust and reached out into the business, and they're bought into extending automation and as you say, connecting what they want to achieve, the outcomes, with a process for getting there, what perhaps tips could you give? What stands out as lessons that other people can learn from that you've seen in your experience?
I guess if we focus on the previous conversation that we've just had, the first thing is to understand that if we're looking to automate at a greater scale, then many of the processes that we encounter will span multiple business units. If we're talking, let's say, about the sales order process, for example, we might have elements of marketing, we might have elements of sales, we might have elements of our distribution and logistics teams, all involved in fulfilling ultimately the delivery of a product or service to a client. So understanding how to operate effectively with multiple different teams as we look at that process end to end is a crucial element. And Blue Prism has tools that will support that. Here comes the sales bit. Blue Prism Process Intelligence is a fantastic capability that allows us to automatically review how a process is executed within the business right now, regardless of how many different teams and touch points it has, so that we get a better understanding of what and how to automate. And then the other crucial lesson that I've learned from the people that I've worked with is to ensure that we have an executive sponsor involved, potentially more than one. We're looking, I suppose, if we're automating at scale, to engage with some fairly high-level representatives within the business. We're looking to have an impact on some fairly business-critical activities. And that means that it's easy for us to come up against resistance from potentially quite senior people. So having someone at a very high level, C-level, executive level, who has our backs, is able to help us drive the aspirations that we're aiming for, and to work with the functional or business unit leads to achieve the aims is a really vital element, certainly from what I've seen in the past.
Yeah, absolutely, always is for enterprise projects. So we've covered a lot of really useful kind of pointers there. There's a lot to consider. So how would you recommend an organization plans their automation journey?
I guess the first thing is understanding your vision, knowing where you want to get to, and not just for any individual project, but for automation as a whole. What are you looking to deliver with it? Are you looking to improve efficiency, to reduce risk, to increase profit, to reduce attrition, or to increase customer satisfaction? Perhaps a combination of all of those. And use those business aims as your North Star. That defines your direction of travel. And then once you have the understanding of vision, it's much easier to work out where to apply the power of automation first. The suite of capabilities that Blue Prism offers across the portfolio, how to leverage them to effectively support the business. Build then that map of the area in which you're working in, gain an understanding of the business function, the business area, and then break it down into manageable chunks. Understand where to attack first. Understand how small you need to split things in order to deliver them effectively and avoid overwhelming your team. And remember at all times that the aim of automation, whether we're talking about RPA, business process management, intelligent document processing, machine learning, AI, the aim at all points in time is to support and work with humans, not to replace them. Human colleagues are vital to any business endeavor because they're the ones that have creativity. They're the ones that can engage with customers and partners and colleagues. They're the ones who have new ideas and who drive the business forward. So what we're looking to do is to support those clever, intelligent, brilliant humans in being the best that they can be.
Yeah, I like it. Of course, we're not looking to replace humans. We're supporting them. Now you mentioned business process management, BPM, in there, which is a question that comes up a lot. When or where should that come into your automation as you deploy it across the organization?
That's a great question, and thanks for de-acronyming me as well. It's so easy to slip into that side of things. Ultimately, how to leverage BPM, where to leverage business process management, depends on what you need to achieve. It's very easy to let the technology you're working with drive how you move forwards. The power of Blue Prism's portfolio is that it's broad enough to support multiple aims. So, are you looking to fulfill a point requirement? Do you need something created or finished or completed right now? Do you have a situation where you're managing a case over time, where you need to constantly communicate between your team and a customer or partner team, where you need to manage documentation and a flow of information across time? Do you need to understand how you can take messy or unstructured inputs and very quickly rationalize though and use the data they contain to support your business aims? Those sorts of questions will help you to understand which capability to leverage at which point in time and how to connect them together. And the beauty of the fact that we have Blue Prism, that we have Chorus, the BPM tool, that we have Decipher and document automation, the intelligent document processing tools, is that you can ensure that at any point in achieving a business outcome, there is a solution there that will provide you with the right capability at the right point in time.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. And for everything we've discussed, thank you for all of your great insights, Drew. So that's a taster of how intelligent automation can and should be scaled up in an organization. If you'd like to find out more and some top tips for implementing intelligent automation, you can get a copy of our latest ebook. It's called Unleashing Unlimited Possibilities, Delivering Transformational Results. And we're going to drop a link to that in the comments below. So if you'd like to get a copy, follow that link, and while you're there, why not please leave us some comments about your experiences with scaling up automation. We'd love to hear from you. But for today, thank you, Drew, and thanks everyone for your time.
Thanks, Ray.